forward to diving into this topic with you today. Why are we talking about active listening today? Because communication is connection. See, communication is not just getting my words out there. No, communication is making sure that my words get across and your words get across so that we can have a connection, that we can have a relationship together. Sometimes people think of public speaking like it's all of them doing the speaking, but really, when you're doing public speaking, you're looking for connection. Even here in these times, I've been engaging, responding to some DMs, a couple different responses. The more I do this on YouTube and on Facebook and on LinkedIn, the more connection I'm finding. So all of communication is ultimately going to have some aspect of connection. And active listening is going to help you become a better communicator. Active listening is going to help you speak up in meetings. Active listening is going to help you respond in Zoom. Active listening is going to help you be a better conference speaker. Active listening is going to help you as a public speaker. Active listening is going to help you as a communicator. Active listening is going to help you everywhere. So it's ultimately about connection. And that's what communication is going to do in this regards. Now, you're going to be on the responding side of communication, but you're still doing some public speaking when it comes to active listening. So I want you to think about this. There's two different ways of thinking about these words, hearing and listening. Hearing, and this is what happens a lot of times, we're in the meeting and we hear. And sometimes we can even regurgitate what we hear when we do this pretty well. But listening is understanding. It's really being there. It's present. It's active. So if you think about like a passive and an active verb, so passive verb is something like, I am blank. I am Mike. I am a speaker. There's no action happening there. It's passive right there. But active is I speak at conferences. I I lead my family as Mike. So there's a active aspect of there. So when you look at hearing versus listening, hearing is more of a passive. Yeah, yeah, okay, I got this. And listening is where your mind is engaged and you're comprehending and you're bringing in what they're saying. So active listening is not active hearing, it's active listening, it's engagement, it's where you are part of what they are saying. So they're not just saying something, they're not just speaking, they're communicating. The message is getting over to you. So, how do you do active listening? Let me walk you through four different key components of active listening. The first one is your nonverbals. The second one is your verbals. The third one is your interruptions. And the fourth one is your feedback. I'm going to get into them a little bit more. Okay, let's go into your verbals. How can you use your verbals for active listening? This is where along the way you can say, okay, I got it. It's very short and often kind of quiet little sentences that you use that just acknowledges that you're with them. Also, you want to use your verbals in the tone of what they're saying. So if they're saying, wow, I just got a new raise, you're like, wow, great. Or if they come in and say, I got this exciting thing happening, you go, okay, what is it? So you're using a tone that matches the tone of where they're going, unless you're trying to diffuse what they're saying. So they're yelling at you, and you're still going to be up there. You're not going to be way down here, but you're going to be lower than them often. And then you're going to use your tone to diffuse it. That's a whole different topic that I won't get into here. But your verbal is not only the words that you say, often short, it's also how you say it, quiet, and matching the same kind of pitch or the lower pitch, matching them in their wherever they are on the quadrants of vocal variety, something I talk about in one of my books, Speak with Confidence. We'll talk about it some other day as well. So verbal responses is part of active listening. The second thing that you want to do in active listening is use your nonverbals. So think about nonverbals. It's everything that happens if all of a sudden words are cut off and you're not listening to what I say. It's the way I hold my body, it's what I do with my hands, it's nodding my head, it's my eye contact. So as you're active listening, make sure your eyes are regularly meeting up with the person who's talking, okay? Making sure that maybe you even lean in and you take some notes, maybe with your body. Okay. You're using your hands to say, I'm there. So let me just give you a couple different models. Maybe someone's presenting and you lean in and go, okay, mhm, got it, got it. Maybe you're listening to a Zoom and you say, even in there, I got my pen and paper out, and you put that on the chat, and then you do this kind of action right here. Now, what you don't want to be doing is leaning back and looking away. This just crosses you off from people and this disconnects you. So those are two negative ones. You also want to be allowing people to really, well, let them know that you're happy. Let them know that you're with it. Give a little smile from time to time. Okay, got it. One of my favorite stories is that I went and spoke to an executive team, and the CEO, although he actually knew the content I was delivering, he had me there for his team. And I'm there with about 10 people, and he was there the whole time going, yeah, yeah. And he was modeling excellent active listening. Even if his mind wasn't there, maybe his mind was elsewhere and he was just hearing me, but his nonverbals were very encouraging. Okay, so you got your verbals, you got your nonverbals, then you want to make sure that you're not interrupting. I have a friend, I absolutely love this person, so amazing. And often he's looking around right here. And that is body language that says, I'm interrupting and I'm ready for an interruption as it comes along. Or an interruption can be, and I've done this and you've done this, is where someone's talking and we cut in. Now, be careful. Sometimes you might be a person who has a bigger personality and the person talking has a small personality. And so you use your bigger personality to come in and cut them off. So even there, you can be really helpful to the people around you by really engaging them. Go, oh, tell me more about that. Tell me more. No, hey, stop. Let me hear more about what they're saying right here. So not only not interrupting on your own, but also making sure that other people aren't interrupting. And here's the fourth one: repeat back. Now, this is a huge part of active listening, and it's where you go back and say, "So here's what I heard you say," or you ask a clarifying question. I love it when I'm speaking at an event and someone asks a really great question because it means that they've been processing everything that I've been saying. They've been, oh, okay, okay. And even if it's a difficult one, sometimes we're like, we don't like difficult questions. No, a difficult questions means that they've really been thinking through the implications of that which you've been talking about. So don't shy away from any of those deep, difficult questions because that is a vital part of you being actively listened to. So you can ask questions, you can respond it back, you can paraphrase. So here's what I heard you say. Now, if you're in sales, listen to this. If you're in sales, then you want to paraphrase back everything that you heard. So you ask a lot of questions, you actively listen, take notes, let them know you're taking notes. And then afterwards, you say, so here's all the pain points I heard you say. Right there, if you are in sales and you can fully comprehend what the person just told you, and they feel like you fully comprehended what they just told you, then you are much more likely to make the sale if you have a great solution. Now, here's just one huge reminder before we close this out right here. I want you to listen to understand, not respond. Sometimes what we do is someone comes in and they start talking and we go, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the whole time we're like, but, and all the buts are coming up. It's like one big, huge rap video. I don't know if I should say that, but that's what it's like. One big, huge rap video, just all the butts are out there. Be careful of the butts in the middle of your listening. So instead, really comprehend. And if you can do that and think about politics, if you can fully comprehend the other side, then you can come up with arguments and rebuttals afterwards, or you might even make some concessions. But if the whole time you're thinking but, then you're going to get nowhere. Right now, for my son, we're studying the Constitutional Convention of 1787, where all these really smart people got together and ultimately came up with the Constitution. Think about how many people there were listening and rebutting and talking. Now, there had to be a lot of active listening going on there, and they were really engaging in their mind and responding. And we know this because we have the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist papers where they were listening to the other side and responding. So active listening will make you smarter. Active listening will make your speaker better. Next time you go to a conference, next time your boss gets up, next time you're on a Zoom meeting, actively listen. And if you actively listen, here's what will happen. The speaker will get better. I love this story about a preacher who was filling in for a really well-known preacher. And he gets up there and he's preaching and he can see that people are just not into it. They're kind of looking around. They're probably thinking, man, where's the regular guy? The regular guy, he's awesome. And this guy, man, I don't know about this guy. And at halfway through or some point in time in the middle of the sermon, he goes, look, I know that this is not connecting with any of you right now. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to help me out. I need you to make me better. And people rallied with him. So then he started speaking, and I grew up in Mexico. This is how Mexico is too, where people are very responsive in sermons. And so he starts speaking, people start responding. Yeah, that's right. Amen. Okay, gotcha. We're with you. And so he started getting better and better and better. And my friend who told me the story, he was there and he said ended up being one of the best sermons ever. Why? Because he was actively listened to. So if you have a speaker, a boss, someone that's boring, actively listen to them, and let's just see what happens when you actively listen, how they'll end up getting better. Well, that's all for today. Hey, feel free to comment, ask me to teach something that you want here, share this around with people. My goal is to do this every day, even when I'm traveling. Until next time, thank you so much.